Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have for us a laptop to clean up a little bit. It's been a while since I even cleaned this laptop. The thing is, what happens is your laptops and electronics collect a bit of dust and this, that, and the other. So it's always good to keep your stuff clean and take care of it. We're gonna need quite a bit of few things to begin with. Maybe like a Q-tip, you know, something like a Q-tip would come handy, something like that. Also, you're gonna need your disinfectant wipes. You know, you could get these like 75 by the store brand. They're just as good as any other brand. It kills cold and flu virus, kills CVs that cause CV-19 deal. So, you know, it's pretty good stuff. It kills 99% of the bacteria in 15 seconds. So keep in mind that a laptop is a perfect place for bacteria to collect and that sort of thing. Also, we're going to use disposable vinyl gloves. They're also very handy. You could get like, say, a one size fits all. So, you know, get two of these out. Okay. I'll just put that there for now. And this is handy because what happens is when you're doing this, it prevents your sweat from undoing the work of the clean that you have done by leaving fingerprints and smudges. So with that, we also have this mouse to clean, which, you know, I use. So before I even got started today, I said, hey, why don't we clean up this stuff and get it going. All right, so what we're gonna do first is we're gonna use this blower. You wanna get things like, you know, the jack. Flip it over. You want to get like the other jacks, USB jacks, HDMI jacks, etc. You want to blow any of the loose dust off from the gate so that you're not collecting that loose dust. And I think if you look over here, in that corner there, there's a little bit of blemish there. Hopefully we'll be able to get that today. You open it up, the laptop, and you can see from a previous cleaning, I don't know if my light captures it well, but the screen has dried up residue because I didn't have the force to get that. All right, and just to show you kind of what I'm talking about, I don't know if the video does it justice, but I mean, if we just look around a little bit, we could see that that screen needs to be wiped down nicely. All right, so that's the first stage. Now, this is going to help us with that type of situation. So, if anything, let's crumble it up, make it softer than what it already has been. Okay. This laptop will be immaculate and shiny like new. So we went through every nook and cranny with the duster. So that should help a little bit with the cooling. If you want to optimize cooling, then you'd have to go inside of the laptop and get the dust in there. We're not doing that today. I don't have time for that. But have this in reach. And for every surface that we do with the disinfectant wipe, we need to come back and clean it off, wipe it dry, so that we don't get the effect of the smudges as seen on here, if you guys could see it. Let me see, I got a little bit more loose stuff to get rid of here. All right, so have everything ready, and we're gonna start it off. Know where the power button is, so you don't want to actually accidentally turn it on before the time is right. And we're just going to work these surfaces a little bit at a time. Get the dirt that's kind of stuck on there. So we blew the easy stuff off first, and then we're gonna get the harder to get stuff off. And you can see that there's a little bit of dirtiness there. And right away, you want to get this part here, this paper towel, and dry it off, right? Next, we're going to go for the keyboard. Be gentle and just wipe it down. And just go over it like that, like such. The power button's over here, so I'm going to be very careful about that. Just wipe it down some. And then I had a Q-tip, so what you can do is, if you want to, try to gently get your Q-tip wet, and then maybe you want to get in between the keys as best as you can. You know, just a little bit here, a little bit there. And I'm using one side of the Q-tip, and I'm gonna go back over with the other side that didn't get wet, just to kind of dry that part off and that sort of thing. And we're just gonna go back, continue moving forward with getting in between these keys with that Q-tip. Get as much area covered as you can. Recover it with the dry end of the Q-tip. Stay away from the power button as best as you can, because we're not ready to turn it on yet. And then just go in between the keys, because the keys sit a little higher than the surface of the keyboard itself, and it kind of takes this kind of detail to get in there. And at the end of the day, you know, this thing will be immaculate, clean, free of germs and bacteria. I'm not gonna clean a laptop as much as I clean the cell phone, even though it would be nice to do so. This is kind of a time-consuming process, but it's up to you what you choose to do. After we do this keyboard, we are going to go for the screen part. So you just want to get around the keys with the dry end of the Q-tip that you have not submersed in the disinfectant. Okay. And it might take multiple disinfectant wipes, because they do dry fairly quick. And we got a bit of surface area to clean. We're kind of doing the harder part first and getting that all out the way. And that's it. Let's see here. And like, you get very detailed with it if you want. It's up to you. But you know, germs could get all caked up in between the keys of the keyboard, and that's what we want to get at. So we're almost done with this keyboard, about 75% done. And we're just gonna get around these keys down here. And since it dries, you want to get it before, you know, so we don't have the smudges and such, or the residue that is left behind by the disinfectant liquid. And the thing is too, they do have electronic cleaning stuff for this sort of thing, and you're going to run into the same thing with that too. Is the you're going to have the disinfectant drying and leaving the sort of effect that we see on the screen here. So continuing on, that keyboard is looking immaculate. All right, so we're at the bottom of the keyboard. Get around that spacebar key, flip that to the dry side, get in at that, get around the keys that we covered, dry them up, get around the keys that we have yet to cover, and just do it in sections, you know. That always helps. And you know, we want to get any spots that we may have missed and that sort of thing. You know, just the little details, you know. And then doesn't hurt to get your blower. Dry that off, you know. Check to see if this thing is still wet, which it just happens to be. And I'm gonna work the screen now. We blew all the loose stuff off of the screen, and because we are covering such a large area, we don't want to give this disinfectant liquid time to dry at all. So, because they'll make the job of cleaning this laptop a bit more difficult if you have to wipe the residue left by the liquid of the disinfectant wipe. And sometimes you get some detail blemishes that you want to get off. Doesn't hurt to have your blower handy. We are in a dusty environment, so that can happen. Going for the middle of the screen, maybe back tap a little bit. Same difference, grab this, keep it nice and soft. Let's get it nice and dry. And I mean, sometimes you don't realize how dirty this stuff gets, but it does get dirty and things like that. I'm gonna get this thing, blow that off. Because sometimes the fibers of this paper towel become loose and wanna like kind of undo what you did. You're gonna get these surfaces, get the, you know, and just go over everything that you did with the disinfectant wipe. And that screen just looks a lot better than what it did when I put it up here to be clean and things like that, you know. And maybe you could, you know, fold it up so that it minimizes that fiber loss and everything like that. And then any fibers that have gotten on the screen, them off. And then let's not forget about our friend, the microfiber cloth. That also comes very handy too, and removing blemishes and things like that. We are in a slightly dusty environment, and what happens is dust is all around. Dust is hard to avoid and that sort of thing. So this surface of the laptop is clean to satisfaction. Notice that we have the gloves. We could touch stuff without having to get our fingerprints on it. Everything is immaculate. At this point, I'm going to close the device and we're going to work these different areas. It's a couple of different ways you could do it, you know. One of the ways that I would do it is just work it in little areas at a time, and you see that dirt, it just starts to come up easy with these microfiber, with the disinfectant wipe. And then you see, you wipe it off with this towel, paper towel, and you could just about see the difference. You know, if I bring this light over a little ways, see if that helps us. But you can see like a difference, you know. And then you take a look at this this wipe, and you can see that there is a lot of dirt on there that was collected. So we're gonna wipe the other half, and then we're gonna get this paper towel, get a uniform finish, any blemishes and things like that. And then it's time to work on the side pieces, if you will. So I'm going for the back side, you know, and you could use this to get the nooks and crannies, this Q-tip to get into the nooks and crannies and things like that, the cracks and things like that, where bacteria and stuff like that love to reside, if they are to reside there. And then right away, you want to make sure you get this paper towel, dry it down a bit, things like that. Doesn't hurt to wipe over some stuff that you already wiped over, just to make sure it's clean. So we're going for the side, the left side of this laptop. And then even at this point, things look great on it, you know. And it's important that you come in right after. If you let the residue dry from the disinfectant wipe, it makes your job of cleaning it that much harder, because then you're having the disinfectant work against you instead of helping you by it leaving its residue. Then flip it over. Just go over this again. Blow out any loose dust, and then get under here and like do, you know, just enough at a time where you could get it dry and that sort of thing like that, you know. Any scratches, these are scratches, you can't do anything about that. This is what I would take on the road with me if I take a trip. So when you take your laptops on a trip or something like that, just imagine all the germs and bacteria that come with it, you know. It's amazing. It will truly amaze you. Like the phones, they are perfect conduits for collecting bacteria and things like that. That is not too healthy to have at all. And then even this wipe, if we look at it, we could see that we've gotten this much dirt off of this laptop this way. Now, the laptop is done. You can open it. You could go over the screen with a microfiber cloth if you want to. As a matter of fact, why not? Just double check, make sure everything's looking on the up and up. Because what happens is, there is even still a little bit of residue that might be left over from the cleaning process. And if you want your screen to be clean and immaculate, then what you would do is that which I just said. Get your microfiber cloth, go over any blemishes and things like that. It's older laptop. Some of this, there's some stuff that's caked in that you might have to work a little bit to get at, but it's all worth it, you know. It's all worth it, you know, because sometimes, you know, we'll be eating and stuff, and, you know, we might, like, some food debris might make its way onto the device and things like that. That happens too, you know. That happens too. Now you get the crack around the screen, if you will, because that's harder to get, and you can get that up with the microfiber cloth and things like that. So I'm satisfied so far with the extent of the clean of this. If there's something that's kind of like you want to hit it again, it doesn't hurt to hit it again using the methods that we have shown here to get anything that's a little bit harder or any smudges that you want to get, and you want to get that microfiber cloth and just, you know, hit it again just to get it to your satisfaction. And even at this point, It's in a lot better shape than it was. And even just that quick, we get like dust and stuff. So this is done. I'm gonna set it aside for the time being. We're gonna kind of prepare to set up our office for the day. So it's kind of like first thing in the morning that I'm cleaning this stuff up. The cellular devices have already been done before this video was done. And you can refer to my videos about cleaning your mobile devices and things like that. But even just that quick, we got dust, you know, in the area. So we're gonna take and use the mouse because your fingers touch the phone and everything else. So it doesn't hurt to get the mouse, make sure it's turned off, and it's turned off. So you just work these surfaces on the mouse. The mouse shouldn't be that difficult. You can get really detailed if you want. You can get at this spinny wheel and this and that and the other. Use your Q-tip to get some of the nooks and crannies that might be there and that sort of thing. Like if you get in the crack, see there's the flex, you could get in there and get that stuff done. And then you just work each surfaces, sides, and such to your satisfaction. And the mouse will not require as much work as the laptop did, but it's a smaller, you know, surface area to cover. And then, you know, things like your optics, you know, these are optical mouses that we have now. They, it's recessed a little bit and it's in relatively good shape. If it is got any dust and stuff kicked in there, it doesn't hurt to, you know, get in there, blow it up a little bit, you know, things like that, you know. Then you have like the battery compartment. It doesn't hurt to get in there as well. And that's where we are. Blow the dust out of the working area and things like that. Clean up. And then pretty much that's really it, you know. Don't forget where you put the Bluetooth or the mouse dongle for your USB. So I'm gonna put that right back where it needs to go so that when I'm ready to boot, I'm ready to go. So that's been it. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.